Hey guys, FMS26 here and welcome back to highlights of ILR for round 4 of the season, round Baku in Azerbaijan. Very difficult circuit, one of my least successful circuits in league racing. Never had a podium round here and we'll be hoping to change that today. So after a win in Bahrain, and a poor race in China due to a lack of practice, we've sorted our lives out and actually got a setup that works and done a bit of practice for this week. So hopefully we won't be crashing and we'll have a chance to fight near the front. I think in this tier, just keeping it clean will result in you getting a good result as we head through turn 1 there. Not perfect, but it wasn't too bad as we now head down towards turn 2. We braked way too late there and we just slid through the corner. That's going to cost us a lot of time on the exit all the way down this straight towards turn 3. I was looking for a high 37 here. We've got Joggler, my teammate, who's kindly agreed to give us slipstream. I gave him some at the start of the session, so hopefully that will allow us to regain any time we lose through stupid mistakes as we now head through turn 4. A bit of understeer through there, just shifting up to third a bit too early on exit as we now head down towards this tricky chicane at the start of sector 2. We've hit the curb there. You don't really want to do that, and as a result we've got a bit of oversteer on exit, which has cost us a bit on the run down towards the double right-hander here. We've gone down to first and that's given us more oversteer as we just can't keep the car under control really. It's been a pretty average lap, but the castle commitment through here is where time is gained or lost, and we've committed very well. A bit of oversteer on exit there, but the exit wasn't too bad as we now head down towards the very tricky turn, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that, 16 maybe. I don't know the corner numbers around this track. We've mounted the curb very aggressively, but it's actually worked out for us. We've got a solid exit as we come down towards the final proper corner, as there you can see Joggler ready to gift us with some lovely slipstream and hopefully save our lap time and hopefully allow us to get into the 37s here as we head through the last two flat out corners onto the pit straight now, the very long pit straight in the slipstream of our teammate as we head towards the line now. He's timed this pretty much perfectly as he shall now peel off to head into the pits as we head across the line for what is going to be a 38.0. Not very good given that I've done a 37.9 in practice without any slipstream. Purple last sector though, so shout out to Joggler, he's absolutely done me a nice one there, but it's only 10th, which is 9th because Ansmaz has a penalty. But if I'd been 35 thousandths quicker, I would have been 6th. Just showing how close all the super soft runners were. It was Josu who got pole ahead of ESR Amaze by 6 thousandths, with Dazfell in 3rd, Pelzerian in 4th and Kushmania in 5th. Those guys all went on the ultras. And then Antsmaz, Chris Macca-Jones, Joggler, Midsey and myself on the supers, all very closely matched with Jamie I think behind us, and then RH Racings as well. But yeah, pretty close qualifying once again as we now head towards the race. One stop obviously as usual, as we're going to probably change the setup up a bit because we don't fancy having brake pressure that will melt our rear tyres. Changing the fuel up, you don't actually need that much fuel around this track as we just up the brake pressure to 57 I'd assume. But now here we are ready for the race. We have 2 lights, now we have 3. The 5 lights are now on and it's lights out and away we go. We've actually got a good start for once as we head alongside the McLaren of Midsey round the outside very aggressively into turn 1, but we've been pushed out wide by something there and into the wall, and we've got a red wing on the front right. Sorry to whoever I rejoined on top of, I just bounced off the wall, not really much I could do. As we've got Chris Macca-Jones in the wall there, and Antsmaz everywhere, and Macca-Jones is now lagging backwards. His connection is unacceptable and he really shouldn't be able to race every week. He's just causing lag incidents. I was in a lag incident with him last week as well, and I just didn't even hit him on my screen. Meanwhile, we're on for an audacious move down the middle of the Haas and the Renault there as we move back up to P9. We actually started in P8 because Kush disconnected, so we're technically down 1 place, but we'll take it as staying where we started to make us look better. But yeah, damaged front wing, we're going to have to come into the pits really because you can't drive with a red front wing around any track, let alone this one. But we're caught up to the back of Dazfell in the McLaren as we head towards the castle, just being very careful not to lose a wheel. Dazfell's not being careful, he's lost his whole wing. We've managed to react in time, but Antsmas behind us has just run into the back of us. Dazfell now lets us through, and Antsmas has got through as well. So yeah, just a domino effect there. We were able to react, but the guys behind us weren't. As you saw, I was quickly on the brakes. Sadly, others weren't as quick as me as we head down towards the penultimate corner now. And there's a proximity out of nowhere, and oh my god, how we're not out of the race from that. Antsmas just forgetting to brake seemingly. He did apologise after the race. He's cost himself more than me, but Jesus Christ, that's one of the worst pieces of driving I've ever seen in league racing. And yeah, somehow still in the race, not particularly sure how. My front right should have come off, as we now have to be very careful through here without any front wing at all. And if we weren't coming into the pits before, we definitely are now, because we've lost our whole front wing. And yeah, not great driving from Ansmers. He has been removed from the league, thankfully, because that's just unacceptable. You can't be having that sort of standard of driving, regardless of if it's a mistake. He was half a second back before the corner, according to the Delta on the stream, and he's just gone and done that, which is mindless, really, as we head into the pits for a new front wing, a set of softs. So we'll just do the same strategy we're going to do, except swap the soft and the super soft round. Come in on about lap 13 for 14 for a set of supers to go to the end. Hopefully we can recover and it's something. If we don't crash again, we're going to get points. Not many people are going to finish this race, if I'm honest. And we should be able to get to the end, as Ansmaz is messaging me, profusely apologising for his horrendous driving, but I'm afraid you can't be doing that. But let's find out what actually happened at the start, because I don't really know, to be honest. We actually got a good start for once, but then, as you can see in the bottom right, we short shifted to 5th, which cost us a bit in terms of res. We go aggressive into turn 1, which we were entitled to do, ran the outside of Chris Macker-Jones, and he's just been hit by someone there, and I don't really know. We were clearly pushed wide by something, and I think that must have been his car. I sort of rejoined on top of Jamie there, but yeah. Still not particularly sure what happened, even with the replay there, but we'll roll with it as we now skip later on onto lap 2. Pelzeri has retired, so that's us up into P11 already, as we're closing on Jamie and Shazoo Burnouts, who also had to pit at the end of lap 1 for some reason or another, as we now skip on to lap number 3, as we almost binned it in the wall in the castle, but just managing to avoid running in deep there, going into 2nd. We've got a solid exit off that left-hander, as Emerald's retired from the session behind us. Bonkers sets the fastest lap. We're in the slipstream with Jamie. We're very close, but we're playing the long game here. We know it's not going to be worth going for a ridiculous move like that. We're going to be sensible here. We know it's a long race and it's a high attrition rate, so we just need to keep our car intact and hope for a safety car, and maybe we can still maybe even get a podium here. You never know, anything could happen as we're coming through the last proper corners now. Burnouts is understeer. We're going to go past him, but no, he's bounced off the wall and he's hit us, and like, come on, that's just rookie driving from him. If you've got wing damage, you have to account for the understeer, like I was doing on the first lap. He's bounced off the wall and taken us out. We have to pit to change our wing once again, and yeah, just honestly, some of the driving that you get when you're in lower tiers is not really acceptable. AOR has been, I've been lucky, there have been incidents in my tier, but it's what I limit myself to with using the line still, so I guess it is my fault. Obviously Burnouts has now decided to retire from the session, because that's what you do when you get involved in a crash on lap 3 of a race, when there's still plenty of time for a safety car and for you to get points. You just retire, don't you? Yep, that's a really good attitude there. But yeah, we're out of the pits after our second pit stop in 3 laps, and we're in 11th out of 12. But as I said, there's already been 5 retirements plus 2 disconnections, so points are still on the cars. And as you can see, skipping to lap number 5, my teammate Joggler's binned it at turn 3, and that's us up into P10, and I'm sure there'll be many more retirements to come, and hopefully we can get ourselves further up in the points. Hopefully a safety car, but I'm not banking on it. The game is not very good, let's face it. So yeah, coming to the end of lap 5, we're actually a bit of a boss, and we set the fastest lap of the race, just showing that my pace was really good. And in general, I was really happy with my pace and consistency. I wasn't at any point looking like I was going to put it in the wall, and lap 6 again, fastest lap. So I was kind of quite upset actually that I had been taken out, because given Baku's normally been a bad track for me, making lots of mistakes, my pace here and consistency was actually pretty good once I'd been taken out twice. But Jamie pits, I assume he got damaged somewhere, and that's us up into P9 as skipping to the castle. Brumson's binned it somewhere, and that's us up into P8 now. So already 4 points, and we're a lot quicker than everyone else in this race. So the virtual safety cars come out as Amaze, just unfortunately for him, binned it. So yeah, that'll be another position for us up into P7, and as the quickest car on track at the moment, arguably you could say if other people make mistakes, or if there's a full safety car, we could do anything in this race. That's why you stay in the race. Around a track like this, you always have to stay in, because anything could happen and you could be thrown straight back in the race. And if you finish, you're going to get points, so I literally don't get why you would retire. But yeah, Amazed has binned it in the in the flat out corners. I'm guessing he had understeer from something. Virtual safety car now ending in the worst possible place for us on a straight. But that's how things go sometimes. Going to the end of lap 11, there's more people in the pits. Revolution, who were catching by about 3 seconds a lap before his pit stop, so I really hope he had damage. As RH Racing's as well, just ahead of us now, who I don't think we're going to catch, and we'll be pitting ourselves in a couple of laps. But RH Racing's pace wasn't very good, and I was thinking, yes, I'll be able to gain a pit stop on him in the last 13 laps of the race with the fresh super softs compared to his softs. So, but he's made a mistake there, and we've had nowhere to go and just gone straight into the back of him. And yeah, I thought his car was going to bounce back across the track, as you can see. I picked up my camera there and was about 2 seconds away from throwing at my TV. Luckily, I realised it's expensive and didn't do that. And yeah, unfortunate incident, probably a racing incident. I didn't really make the best decision. I should have stuck to my line, but I wasn't to know that he wasn't going to bounce across the track, to be honest. Physics usually states that he will. But yeah, results on screen now. Congrats to Bonkers, finally getting the win he deserved and absolutely dominating. Mitzi in second and Daz fell in third, and I definitely think I could have had that third place. I was about 10 seconds behind Daz before I crashed and much quicker. So yeah, third or fourth I definitely could have had there. Congrats to Josh too as well. I think he was caught up in an incident at some point. With Jamie in fifth, Revolution in sixth, and Bibbin bringing home the final finishes. No more retirements after me and Racing's, which surprised me. So well done to the guys who finished. Sadly, I couldn't, but a lot of encouragement to take from the race. My pace was very good, so bringing it forward to AOR in a couple of weeks due to the 2-week break for the real life Grand Prix, I'm pretty confident going into that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys for watching. I don't know what the next video on my channel will be. Probably ILR Spain, to be honest. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.